Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at both charts, and the prices are moving in the direction that I indicated in the last few videos that we've actually been talking about for, I think, a couple of weeks or longer. So we are moving here towards the key target levels for various cryptocurrencies. Ethereum, I think, has already been there, but we'll cover that separately. Bitcoin now nearly at the 43.3k level, and Cardano also moving higher, but a little bit weaker. Generally. We can take a look at that, even though here as well in the last 24 hours over 3%, a bit like Bitcoin actually. Overall, the market up again with Bitcoin pumping here in the last few hours. So we're going to take a look at that here on the Bitcoin chart. So as we can see here on the Bitcoin chart, we're really here on the move. We did break out of this bull flag. We had the bull flag here on the chart, talked about it. Was a bullish pattern. Oops, I did say before, should we really break out to the downside here, you will always have that 40.5k support level. Well, we didn't even need it, so we just broke out of this pattern. Did talk about it that on the 1 hour chart, we were overbought. We needed to get out of the overbought range. We did that. We found support here on the 50 line, strong support, and then started to form here, higher lows on the RSI. And then at some point here, when this this moving average was crossed, then we saw the pump. That was on the 1 hour chart. On the 4 hour chart, we can see that we were still actually overbought, but just getting down to the 70 line on the 4 hour chart before we started to move up here. But yeah, we are still overbought, so keep that in mind. On the daily, what I said though, on the daily we were not overbought yet, so there is still room for further price increases on the daily RSI, which is also having a certain significance for shorter term moves. So if we go on the 1 hour chart, we can see that the price bounced off the 50-day moving average, as indicated in one of the last few videos. Told you that the 50-day moving average, the longer we wait, the lower it will come, and we found resistance here now. We're getting very close to my target level of 43.3k. This is the level that is the ideal level for the wave 4. Yeah. As I said before, we can also move higher in this scenario, and I'm going to show you that once more. Let me just go to the 4 hour chart. We draw those Fibonacci retracements. So from here, start up there, go all the way to the low of the wave 3, and there you have your ideal range. So we did get to the 0.214 fib level at 38.8k. That was the minimum we need to do in that wave 4 before we can complete it. That was done anyway. My primary expectation remained we get further into the target area here. We did that, got into the target area, consolidated, because pretty much as expected, you can't expect a price to move just in one straight line all the time, right? So did consolidation here, moved sideways, and I did tell you that at some point here very shortly, we're gonna see the 43.3k. Today we did get to 43.067, so we got there very close already. And I did tell you yesterday that at the 43.3k level, I do expect strong resistance. If we can't see resistance there, we could then also move up to 46.5k. So that would still be part of this wave 4 scenario, even though getting to 46.5k is less likely as 43.3. So we're getting really, really close to this 0.382 Fibonacci level at 43.3k. Getting very exciting now, getting very interesting. And I myself are very interested, because just to see if this is going to play out, because what I told you is that in this wave 4, I would expect us to reach 43.3, which is the most likely scenario, then to turn around and see a strong reaction here and then start a new downtrend. But we could also go up all the way to 46.5 before we see that downtrend starting again. Bear in mind, we are still in a downtrend now, because we are still below the 50-day moving average. We're still below the 200-day moving average as well. Yeah, so that is worth pointing out here, even though we broke that immediate descending trend line here. So yeah, we are getting closer to the expected levels, and only if we do not see if we don't stop here at the 46.5k level, then we have to talk about alternative scenarios. But I think all of this would still be a corrective wave then. No move to new all-time highs. Yeah, that's interesting. So 43.3 should be reached shortly as well. I think we're not far away from it anymore anyway. Obviously we're fighting with the 42 point, what was it, or 43, well, 42.8k 50-day moving average at the moment. So that is something that the price needs to move through first. At the moment, there's still a lot of fighting going on. If we zoom in, we can see here another possible bull flag forming on the 30-minute chart, so very small one. That could be broken here shortly as well. Depends which way it goes, but we're moving here sort of in a triangle and could break that shortly. But as I said, we're getting close to the level at which I would expect here the price to turn around to the downside again. Primary expectation. I always say, there are different scenarios possible. That has to be my primary expectation, that the 43.3k level here is the temporary top before we go down further. And going down further, where could it take us? That would then be the last wave to the downside of that correction, in my view, the wave 5. Yeah, and as you can see, so far it's playing out very nicely. We're just moving up to the expected levels before I do expect here that sell-off in the region below 28.7k. From here then, however, I would expect new all-time highs. Yeah, a lot of people have asked that. Yes, of course, after the correction is finished, I do expect new all-time highs. And in that next wave up, that could take us to 100k, 125k, for example. Looking at Cardano as well, we talked about here this ascending trend line that Cardano needs to hold to continue its uptrend, its temporary uptrend. We talked about here this tipping point yesterday. There was a reaction. Yeah, you saw a breakout. That breakout went to the downside, but it did then hold, and reclaimed now with Bitcoin moving up that ascending trend line. But overall, can't get around, just the impression that Cardano is still, it just doesn't get really the momentum it needs. It can't really build the momentum, and that is indicated on the daily chart. Pushing above the 50 line of the RSI seems to be so difficult for Cardano. I mean, it's just doing it now. Bear in mind, throughout this whole correction, the last 3 times that happened, there were pretty much fake outs, and it couldn't hold. There was at no point the price did find support above the 50 line, of that RSI. And that's an important line because this is, you call it the bullish range, above 50 is basically bullish momentum. So far, we're just crossing it now. We have a bullish cross on the MACD as well. We did talk about that. And Cardano just needs to push higher from here. But overall, my view is we are still in a correction anyway. So that might be one reason why Cardano is struggling here. I mean, most recently here on the larger scale view, you can see that it recently made a lower low anyway. And I don't think at the moment it has the power, also with Bitcoin potentially correcting once more, to push all the way up to 160. We talked about here this potential breakout point of that triangle, and said just purely by a technical perspective here from a pattern point of view, if there is a breakout, the target range could be, or the target level could be here around 130. We're moving still in that direction, but and the price should be able to do it. It's not overbought at all here, so there is a potential that we could get there, but it also depends on what Bitcoin is doing. Bear in mind here as well, on the 4-hour chart, you're moving close to the overbought range, and it's looking like there's a risk that we're doing a double top here and then could drop once more. If you do a double top, you could fall first of all here to that support level of the triangle, which would be at around $1.05, $1.06, and then in the next step we could fall to the 92-cent support level that we've got here. Now, Bitcoin, very exciting, will be a very exciting week, very exciting day. I expect a lot of volatility here, especially as Bitcoin now broke out of a pattern. There is something new to take a look at, especially now that the volumes are going to increase during the week. So it's getting very interesting. Yeah, it's getting very interesting, and Bitcoin is moving only, at the moment only in the direction of what we expected on this channel. So my view hasn't changed at all. I only have to change my view if we break above 46.5k, but even then it would probably still remain overall bearish, with further upside potential in the very short term, because we have not completed what the correction needs to complete, but we're going to take a closer look at that then. All right, hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin and Cardano. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And yeah, if you really like the content, maybe you want to join as a channel member, you can find all the links for that in the video description. You can join either via my website or here on YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.